Welcome to the back room of the Randomville Bar and Grill, where it gets weird.
Hey everyone, welcome to Randomville, North Dakota, from the middle of the Hoople Triangle, the great astrophysical phenomenon that finds itself in between three North Dakota cities, those being Hoople,
Buttsville,
and Cole Harbor, or alternatively, you took the left turn at Absarac or the right turn at Colfax, and when you came to the fork in the road, what did you do, Dan?
You spooned it. Took it?
Yeah,
Taked
took
it?
Took it, yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was you. It's been a minute since we did that intro.
It has.
Actually did the intro. Last time we did the intro, it felt like we kind of did the intro as the outro.
We did, yep.
So it kind of threw off the whole comedic timing. And it's one of those things, too, where, we know it, but I'm just going to mess with you.
I know, because how do you spoon a fork?
Well, I guess you'd be the expert, wouldn't you? Spooner?
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome our guest on today's episode, Mr. Paulie Lorenzano, DJP. Paulie, just don't call him Paul, and don't make parrot jokes. I'm just going to leave that there. We lured you here under false pretenses, saying we had both a DJ gig and a restaurant for you to run.
I was curious on why I was here and what I'm doing here.
Yeah, so basically we just wanted to ask you some questions.
Okay, so you lured me here for some questions.
We did.
Pretty
Okay,
much.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Questions, more or less just some stories.
I will do my best to entertain.
We know you've got some stories.
Okay.
I know you in full transparency. From the back room of the Randomville Bar and Grill, this episode is being recorded. However, outside of the back room of the Randomville Bar and Grill, myself and Paulie have known each other for 5 years?
About 5 or 6.
About five, yeah.
5 or 6 years, yeah.
Something around there. We worked together in a restaurant. How we survived together was basically because we just teamed up and didn't let people kill us.
That's a fact.
Spooner, I just realized I've known you for almost 10 years.
Oh my goodness.
Holy crap. As soon as you said 5 or 6, I was like, hold on, no, because you would have met when he started at Stonehome, which wasn't until after college. And then I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, that's exactly when we first met, was at Stonehome.
Right. That was, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep. And here we are now. And you have not just worked in the restaurant industry.
No, I've done quite a bit.
Yeah.
Other than being a DJ, I've also was in the loss prevention security, personal security business for many years.
So loss prevention and personal, like
Bodyguard.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you the most commonly question
Sure.
you get asked. Who's the coolest person you've ever
2.
been on?
It's a tie.
Okay.
Billy Crystal and Halle Berry.
Oh, you know what? All respect to Halle Berry. She's a beautiful woman, extremely talented. But Billy Crystal, come on.
Super cool.
You got to have some Billy Crystal stories.
Well, I'm a huge Yankee fan, and so is he.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I know, twin country, right?
This was fun.
Well, great. I'm just making people leave now. I just got here. Yeah, really cool guy. Just down to earth. Really talked about just normal day things.
Right.
It was so nice, and he treated me. He didn't treat himself like a star.
Right.
He was just a normal guy, and
That's great.
So super cool guy. Halle Berry was very, very nice. I mean, I was probably bodyguarded her for. I wouldn't mind bodyguarding her, but bodyguarding her for approximately, about maybe a month.
Okay.
I did that, so that was a lot of fun though. Really
How
cool.
long were you with Billy?
Billy, just a week.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was a good week. That week beats the month.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, because he
That's
was
fair.
a lot of fun. Yeah, he's
That's
a lot of
fair.
fun.
I mean, some of those people are just like that. Where a week with one person is better than a month with anyone else.
Correct.
Right?
And then a lot of the other people that I have done with, or been, involved with, a lot of them didn't talk to you.
Yeah.
They didn't say nothing to you. They expected you to be there and do your job, and that's
Right.
it. Which
Right,
is
and
fine.
that's fair.
That's fair. That's
Was there
okay.
anybody who stands out as, wow, that guy was such a dick?
Girl?
Really?
Susan Sarandon.
That makes sense.
It's-
That tracks to me.
So bizarre how rude she was.
Really?
Yeah. She told me basically, make sure that no one takes a picture of my children. How can you do that when there's 40 photographers out there?
I was going to say, what do you want me to do? See, I'm going to you just want to take a page out of Michael Jackson's book and throw a blanket over him? That's the only thing you could do.
So you try to block him the best you can.
Right.
You try to get him into the building as fast as possible, and that's all you can do.
Right.
So.
Why does it make sense that Susan Sarandon was really rude? That just, I hate to say it, but that just tracks.
Everyone that I tell that to, they say the same things like, oh, that makes sense. Like, they can picture it. So,
like, she doesn't, like, there's so many stars and, like, athletes and celebrities that you're just like, they seem like a really good guy. Like, Billy Crystal seems like he'd be a really good guy.
Super cool. Yeah.
And then Susan Sarandon, you're like, I don't know if she's, like, a vindictive, like, intentionally mean person, but she doesn't seem like she'd be like that. Oh, yeah, I want to sit down and have a conversation with you.
No, there was no conversation happening other than her telling me don't let
anyone get a picture of my kids.
Do this, do that. You know, she was very, and I get it. She's in that position to do that.
Right.
And I'm hired to do that job, so I get it. But
when about was this that you were on her detail?
So this was probably going back to, let's see, it would have been around 2003, 2004.
Okay, so she's still in that. She's not at the height of her popularity,
but she's still there.
But she's still that low A, high B list level.
Yeah, definitely. And
where people still definitely want to know what Susan Sarandon's got going on.
And Halle Berry was in that same. You know, she was pretty up there. And then of course Billy Crystal. Billy could do nothing and still be in that tier.
Billy Crystal is timeless. I mean, Billy Crystal is that guy that you still kind of circle back to in your life, and you're like, but also Billy Crystal. But also, how often it's amazing how often you forget about Billy Crystal.
You do.
Spooner, what's your favorite Billy Crystal movie?
I'm going to say 61.
Okay.
It's the Roger Maris movie.
Okay.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Paulie?
Honestly, it's a supporting role, but I'm going to say Princess Bride.
Oh my goodness.
Classic.
Can I change my answer?
No, because we need multiple answers.
Okay, fair enough.
We also need people to think that we actually know more Billy Crystal stuff than
you know
we
that
do.
thing where you don't remember Billy Crystal until you think about Billy Crystal?
Yeah.
That's exactly what just happened to me.
I'm a big When Harry Met Sally guy.
Oh, okay.
I love that movie. It's not his funniest role by a long shot, but I think he shows so much range.
Right.
And I think it's just a brilliant movie.
It is, yeah.
To me, in general, the number of times that I've quoted that, my friend, is a dark side, and had people just give me a blank stare. I'm like,
guilty.
I'm very mad that you don't know that,
right?
Because it's not a movie as guys, it's not a movie that we would have gone out of our way to watch growing up.
Mm-mm.
But I had a buddy like force me to sit down and watch When Harry Met Sally. And I was like, this is a fantastic movie. There's so many iconic things that, like, you don't even realize are from When Harry Met Sally when you're talking about these things.
Yeah. And if I could interrupt, I know we're having a lot of fun right now talking about Billy Crystal. I want to back up a little bit.
Sure.
How dare you.
So I kind of want to get into how you got into some of these things that you do now.
Oh, okay.
If we could really quickly jump through these, because talking about jumping through things, you've kind of jumped across the country 3 times, if I'm counting right.
Yeah.
So you were born and raised where?
In Paterson, New Jersey.
Okay.
Lived there till I was about 5 or 6 years old. My dad had this crazy idea of opening up a restaurant in North Dakota. I'm not kidding you. My uncle was in the Air Force at Grand Forks. So we moved out here when I was about, I guess, 6. Lived in Steel.
Yeah.
And then Rugby till the age of 13.
Okay.
13 years old, went back to New Jersey. From New Jersey, I got married, went to North Carolina, got divorced, came back to North Dakota. I loved North Dakota when I was a kid. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really did. It was a great place. I mean, I had a lot of friends. And I was at an age, I was like 7th and 8th grade, 8th grade when I left. So you've built these relationships, you've got things going. And then it was like culture shock again for me to go back to New Jersey and then start high school there.
Where in New Jersey?
I went to school in Paterson.
Paterson. So where's Paterson, New Jersey?
Paterson. You ever see the Joe Clark movie, Lean on Me, with Eastside High School? He used to carry a bat around.
Yeah.
That's Paterson.
Right.
Yeah, it's one of the worst cities to live in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I moved. Obviously, we moved, and I graduated from Hawthorne High School, which is North Jersey.
Okay.
And then I just kind of got into DJing at probably about 17, 18 years old. Loved watching people with the records and doing stuff, and it just fascinated me, and I was like, I want to do that. I said, I want to learn that, and I did. But the loss prevention part and this is a crazy story. I went to Nordstrom to get a job. I think I was like 20 years old or something. And I'm sitting there and I got a job as a telephone operator for the store. So I'm answering the phones and, whatever, doing my thing. And then there was this big glass window in front of where I sat in this office. And I would see these guys running back and forth all the time, just running. And I was like, what the heck are these guys doing? So the one day I see one of them, I go, hey man, I got to ask you, what are you doing all the time? I always see you guys running back and forth. And he goes, oh, we're security. We're going after shoplifters. And I was like, oh, I want to do that.
Yeah.
That looks fun, And so there was an opening and I didn't know nothing about it. I got trained in, learned it, actually made a very good career out of it for a long time.
That's awesome.
And, became a manager, became a district at Nordstrom, and then went to Tiffany. And I was in charge of security at Tiffany for about 7 years. And that's where I got all these connections with the personal bodyguarding and stuff like that, because we had so many celebrities that came into the store.
Right.
So then, of course, agents, you start, linking up with people, and that's how you get your connections. So it worked out really well for me. Yeah. So
every day is networking.
Absolutely, you have
to. You got to be on the networking grind. Every day of your life.
So that's kind of like the short version, I guess. I don't want to say I could talk probably for 3 hours and have to be a boring show, but I just
Well, let's. Do we want to start with the DJing?
I think we can jump into the
Let's start
DJing
with
now
the DJing.
because, and kind of we talked about some of the, most favorite, least favorite with that. I've got one question I want to ask, and that's, Dan, how many degrees away from any member of the band Bon Jovi do you think Paulie is? 6 degrees of separation, 5 degrees of separation.
Honestly, I'm guessing 1.
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
I guess you could say that, right?
You could, yeah.
I guess it could be
based
one.
on what I'm seeing, based on the conversation we've had so far, I'm guessing you've actually met somebody in the band Banjo.
And
I have.
Dan, being a drummer, you're going to enjoy this.
Mr. Torres, Tico himself, yes. I was now we can do 2 stories with this, because I was DJing in a club, and this is the weirdest thing, was that down the shore, the club was called Masquerades, and the DJ booth was like this huge DJ booth up top, and then behind it there was like this VIP room. And so I'm DJing, and I went into the VIP room to grab a drink or something, and there's Tico Torres just sitting there.
What the heck?
And I was just like, that's definitely him. I know it is, And so I went up to him and I was just like, hey, Tico Torres, right? And he goes, yeah, man. And he goes, oh, how you doing? I'm Paul. I'm a DJ. And he goes, oh, I like what you're doing. And I was surprised because I'm like, I was playing dance music, club music, and I'm like, there's no way he likes this stuff. He's a rocker, But I guess maybe he respected the fact of the beats mixing together and something, I don't know.
There's an element of musicianship that I think any musician just has to appreciate.
It's just hard because a lot of people think that DJing is so easy. They think it's just a matter of playing a song and that's it. Well, you do, and it's not what you do.
It is for what I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I think that's the other thing we have to clear up is like North Dakotans hear DJ and they think of what I do with it, which is literally which is a wedding DJ,
right?
Which is literally all you do. All I'm there to do is keep the music going and try to follow the beat of the party, keep the heartbeat going,
right?
And match the vibe, right? That's what I'm trying to do. So I am just playing songs,
okay. But I respect that what you're doing though.
There's a lot of fun in that. Right. I have a great time. I love to tell people that you're paying me to come party with you, and I'm gonna have a good time. But I don't have the ability in my mind to do what you do. So explain what your process is and what you did as a DJ.
As a DJ, it's about mixing beats.
Right.
So you're basically taking a song that's 120 beats per minute, which is kind of a more upbeat song,
right,
and you want to mix it with other songs that are 120 beats per minute or 122 beats per minute and change your pitch. Yep. So basically you want your songs to just continuously go.
Right.
You don't want a break in between. You don't want a pause. You don't want, like you have a dance song going, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's some REO Speedwagon. You definitely don't want to do that. At a wedding, yes, you can do that.
Exactly.
Right? So I respect that. But for me, it was about the mastering the art of beat mixing.
Yep.
Because in New Jersey, New York, that's what everyone did.
Oh, yeah. So
that's how I learned. So if everyone was doing it here, you probably would have been like, oh, okay, I'm going to learn that,
That's what you have to do.
Right.
Here, North Dakotans, Minnesotans, where I do my stuff, they don't want that for the most part.
Right.
They want you to come out and play, okay, for the first 2 hours for the dinner and the reception, just play some light jazz, Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, a little bit of Stevie Wonder,
Absolutely.
hit that and drive that for 2 hours. And that's easy. That's as easy as it gets because I press shuffle and then I go around and I glad hand and I network a little bit and I do my thing. And then we get to the dance and it's like, okay, I want to hear Mr. Brightside. I want to hear Journey. I want to hear all of these different, it's like that line from How I Met Your Mother. What if Journey and Queen and Beyonce and lists all these artists could all be at your wedding? How? Well, a DJ, that's how. And it's like, that's what I do. My brother thinks it's lame because he sees the guys doing like the actual mixing. And when I see the mixing, I'm impressed. It's very cool. There's no denying it.
It's definitely an art. It is, and then there's some guys that can do it really good, and then there's some guys that can do it really bad.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, you hear it, you can tell the beats, and you start hearing, beats. That's like a war is about to hit.
Yep.
So I get that. So, but for me, it was about learning that art and getting really good at it.
How long did it take you?
This is going to be crazy. You're gonna think this is like, there's no way, like 3 months. But I did it every day.
I mean, yeah,
and also too,
but that's impressive.
But also, you got to remember too, Dan. You got to remember that the people that I hung out with, a lot of them were DJs.
Okay,
so they're giving me
helps.
tips. They're helping me. So is it fair? Now, if I would have been done it by myself, maybe it would have took me 6 months, maybe a year. I don't know. Right. But I was at the clubs every night. I was watching DJs. I was looking at what they were doing. Then I would go home and I'd copy their mixes.
Okay.
To get better, and then I would start doing my own.
So seeing what they're doing,
right?
R&D, baby.
Yep.
Rip off and duplicate.
That's it. and then when I got to the point where I understood it and I was getting good at it, then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to start doing my own stuff and my own mixes. And now, the big thing is the mashup, right? Everyone mashes up things, and I do a lot of that as well too. Right. But it's now it's different now because now anyone could DJ.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a button called sync.
Yep.
And you can match your beat and it'll match the beat to what you're doing.
Yep.
Where when I DJ'd, I used turntables with a pitch control, and I had to, it didn't tell me how many beats per minute a song was.
Right.
I had to figure that out.
Right.
So I'd sit there and count the beats and go, okay, on the record, I would put 125 BPMs. Then I put my 125s together, and that's how I did it.
Have you seen that DJ app that people use now?
Yeah.
This is what I use. That's what I use.
What is it called?
DJAY.
Oh yes, I have seen that. Okay.
DJ Pro, and I use it because when I DJ, I have one iPad, and the thing that I hate more than anything at a dance is when in between every song there's like a 3-second delay of just silence.
Yes.
So I use that specifically for the
crossfader to bring everything in,
because I want to fade in, and I'm not necessarily looking to this song's in G flat, so I want to make sure that I'm bringing in a song that's G. I don't worry about that too much.
Did you just say G flat?
I said what I said. I know that
G flat.
Yeah, thank you for noticing. Thanks for catching it.
What's G flat more commonly known as?
A. Did I get that wrong? I'm backwards.
You got that completely wrong.
Yeah, F.
Yes.
Yep.
Sharp.
F sharp. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is what I said wrong?
You said the wrong thing a couple times.
Is what I said wrong? I said the wrong thing, but is it incorrect? What is an F sharp?
It's a G flat. You also didn't say sharp. I had to provide the sharp for you. But I digress.
I did say the wrong thing a couple times. You see how I don't know music?
Yeah.
Actually, I know for a fact that I've been shown the key of G flat. I know that for a fact.
There's far too many flats in G flat, but I know you've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's dumb. Anyway, yeah, so I use that because I hate we've all been at that dance where it's like between every song and the guy's got to interject and say something and introduce the song. I'm like, when I start playing music, you're probably not going to hear my voice until the end of the dance. Yep. When I'm saying my thank yous and basically kicking you out. Right. That's my goal anyway.
People don't want to listen to us talk. They want to hear the music and they want to dance and have a good time.
Mm-hmm. Who's the worst DJ you ever heard?
Oh God.
You don't have to call him out by name, but
this is going to be some obscure guy from the Jersey Shore.
But describing him. Describing what he did.
He didn't do anything right.
Oh, good.
I mean, starting, just not like you read a crowd, right? You look at the
Yeah.
crowd at a wedding or a party, and okay, so if you have a group and they're doing their 50th wedding anniversary, you're probably not going to play rap music. Probably not.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, look, a bunch of old white people in North Dakota.
All right. I think
Find the polkas.
I think I'll start off with Ice Cube. I mean, it just doesn't happen, And this guy basically was playing for himself.
Yeah.
He wasn't playing for the crowd, and that you can't do that. And that's the worst kind of DJ. A DJ just doesn't want to play for the crowd. He wants to play for himself. If that's the case, sit at home and just play.
Yep.
Don't go out there and then what they do is when they have a bad DJ, it hurts all the other DJs in the business.
Yep.
Because it's like, oh, I had this DJ, he was terrible. I don't want to hire anyone. It's like, so
Yep.
I've been doing it 30 years.
Right.
So I'm at a point where when someone goes, well, this is what we want, I'm like, yeah, all right, no problem. It's fine. I got you. I use a program called Serato.
Okay.
And then I have a Pioneer mixing board that I use.
I think I saw you up at Crossroads
Yes, I was
at one point.
Yeah, I
And
DJed there a
and
couple
you were
times.
killing it.
Oh, thank you.
It
Appreciate
was,
that.
It was not. It wasn't my thing.
No, it's not my thing either.
It's not what I like.
Yeah.
But I was still like I remember, because I remember the setup being there, and I was like, one of my buddies who knew I DJ'd was like, hey, you want to hop on that? I was like, I can't even imagine how to work most of that stuff. Also, what's sitting over there is thousands of dollars of equipment that I don't even want to stand next to, because if I break that, I'm screwed.
Yeah. It's the crowd there is a way different crowd than
Right.
I want to DJ for. I just do it sometimes. I just because I love to do it.
Yeah.
So I'll just go and play, and then after I'm done, I'm like, why did I go? I don't want to be here tonight. This crowd's terrible. I hate them. I don't like them.
We've all had that.
It's a younger crowd, and they want to hear all rap music, and and I get it. It comes with the territory of being a DJ,
Yep.
but it's not what I want to play.
Right.
That's not my forte. I want to go.
What
in there.
are your kind of mixes?
I try to get really kind of creative, and I try to take a lot of like 80s and 90s stuff and mix it like with current stuff. It's but at the same time, like if I'm just going and doing a party, I'm probably not going to put that much effort into trying to do like these mashups and stuff, but I am going to mix. I'm going to keep it continuously going,
Yep.
the crowd going. I take requests obviously, which is great. With the technology now, everyone has a laptop and so you can download any song. There's a
Right.
program called Tidal that if you, I love Tidal. It's the best thing. It's the best thing in the world.
Jay-Z.
Oh, it's the best thing.
That's Jay-Z's streaming platform, and it is fantastic.
You type the song and boom, it pops up, and
It's
there it is.
amazing.
It's the best thing.
It's Spotify. It's Spotify for DJs.
And it's great for DJs because
It's so good.
when you get into that situation where, say, you go into a place and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, and like, wow, this stuff is not working. They want to hear this song. I don't even know what the song this is. They tell me the name of the song, and I'm like, well,
Yep.
there it is. I can play it now, and you just made the crowd happy.
Yep,
So
100%.
it's a great investment for like $20 a month or something like that.
It's not even that. I've got it for like $10 a month.
Oh, do you? I think
and it actually loads into that DJ app.
yes, it
It's
loads
hooked-
into mine too.
It's hooked up to that, so I can literally have all my playlists. So I write my wedding playlist for
Sure.
whatever dance I'm doing, and I can load everything in there, and I can just be pulling from that playlist.
That's great.
Best part is it gives me a checklist of, hey, you've played this tonight, so I don't double play.
Right, and that in Serato too. It'll light a different
Yep.
color change that you played it or something like that, and it's great. And I think I'm pretty well aware of what I play. I think, but there's always that one guy. It's like you just played. You played Cupid Shuffle 10 minutes ago. Can you play it again? No. Maybe at the end of the night, but not right now.
Requests are such a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
They really are. Spooner, I know you've got plenty of horror stories about.
Yes. Oh,
And
goodness.
Why is it always how do I put this nicely? The 50-year-old single aunt.
I would argue it's not always the aunt.
She's always 50 plus and always single.
Very true. Now I'm gonna keep this brief, but one of my biggest horror stories, and I apologize profusely if those whom I DJ'd for at this wedding are watching this episode of Randomville. But I sent them a whole sheet and I was like, are there any family traditions that for whatever reason you don't want to have happen? Tell me. And I will just say whatever I need to make sure that Aunt Susie doesn't come up and say, well, we do it at every wedding. One of the first weddings I ever did was, under no circumstances are you allowed to play We Are Family. And if you do, you're not getting paid.
Wow.
And I could just say that. I was like, if I play this song, I don't get paid. Now, I didn't tell them I wasn't getting paid, but,
Yeah.
you know, it was just that kind of thing. But it was the Irish circle dance. And it was, I think I've told you about this, but
I remember that story.
the guy brought up his phone and the mother of the bride said, you're playing this because these are actually his speakers, so I didn't have to truck speakers into Minnesota. It was like, oh, yeah, we've got speakers from, you know, a family friend who's a music teacher. Now, I mean, I had speakers that would work in, you know, a college basketball venue for a barn about 5 times, I don't know, about double the size of the house we're in, the Randomville Bar and Grill. It was a small venue. And so these speakers, I didn't bring them above 2 the whole night for the sake of our eardrums and the building not collapsing. But this Irish circle dance, for 23 minutes, this guy just called out a free-form square dance style, everyone stand in a circle. And it was like, now everybody go that way. What's that way? Is it the left? Is it the right? Like, change partners? Like,
Gross.
it was like, what is happening right now?
That doesn't sound fun at all.
21, 22 minutes, and everyone's tired. For the next 15 minutes, no one stepped foot on the dance floor.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've also done that event where you're basically playing background music the whole night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did a wedding here in North Dakota. Girl hired me, and she's like, oh, yeah, I want you to play this stuff, kind of stuff. No problem. Got there. I literally had 4 people dance the entire night.
Yep.
Because they were sitting there drinking, and you see everyone's feet tapping away. They're getting down to the music. Didn't want to dance. They just wanted to drink and hang out.
And and it's hard because you're like, man, my whole point is like, I want you on the dance floor.
Right.
But at the same time, clearly you're having a good time.
Right.
Clearly you're enjoying what I'm playing.
And that was the bride. The bride goes, oh, it's okay. They're having a good time. Don't worry about it. You're doing great. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm doing great because
I'm bored. I'm over here alone, and this sucks.
And I've done clubs. I've done clubs in New York. I did Vegas, Miami. Like, I've DJed in clubs with thousands of people.
Right.
And I'm like, there's like 20 people here, and none of them are dancing.
Yeah.
It's like, this, like, I might retire. I'm done. You know, that's how you feel. But it is what it is.
It's kind of like comedy. Like, you hear stand-up comics talk all the time about their first gigs when they were first starting out, and they're like, and I did a party for 5 people, and one of them left once, and I wanted to hang myself. And you're like, yeah, I've kind of been there.
Yeah, I get it.
I get what you're saying, dude.
Absolutely.
Not on the same level, because at least I can just say, well, you didn't like my music, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, with comedians, it's like, oh, you didn't like me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Question for you now, Paulie.
Yeah.
So what, songs, what mixes have you made you're most proud of? Like, are there some songs that you've mixed together that it's like, no one thought I could get these songs to line up?
That's tough. I feel like I've done a few of those. I'm trying to think. Man, I think possibly I did do a mix. It was a long mix, but I mixed like We Will Rock You Queen with Black Eyed Peas with who else was it? Black Eyed Peas, Queen, and Taylor Swift and Outkast. There you go.
Oh, interesting. That's all one song, or that's 2 separate
All one
mixes?
song.
What the heck?
I started off with the Outkast,
Yep.
the Hey Ya beat,
Yep.
and I mixed Shake It Off Taylor Swift over that.
Yep.
And then I go into We Will Rock You.
Okay.
And then from We Will Rock You, I went into Black Eyed Peas, I Got a Feeling.
Okay. I can see it.
So obviously pitch change going on.
Yep.
There's a lot of changing in that. But that was something I did like 7-8 years ago.
Okay.
And I'm super proud of that one. That was like probably my best one. I mean, I've done other ones that I think are good, but if you're going to put me on the spot to think of one, I guess that's the one I'm going to go with.
Yeah, I mean,
and also it has 4 songs in, so it makes me look even better. No, I'm just kidding.
Say, 4 songs is nothing.
Yeah,
nothing to be.
But you
ashamed
got
of.
DJs that are mixing 100 songs in 3 minutes.
Right.
It's like, geez,
Yeah.
Do I want to do that kind of stuff? No.
Yeah, no.
Sit in a studio and just.
I was gonna say you got other things going on in your life,
but you're not really doing. You're editing.
Yeah.
It's more production than it is.
Right.
You're actually DJing. You're producing it, so you're taking cuts and you're putting
right. But don't sell yourself short. That takes time.
That does take time,
takes
and
a lot of time.
that's a talent also. But
there's a lot that goes into that, and it's the reason. It's honestly the number one reason that I just do what I do.
Right.
Right, like I don't want to put the time into it.
I get it, but
that's what impresses me.
But for me, I want to do the physical stuff.
Sure.
I want to feel that. So sitting on a computer and going up, cut, paste, cut this, cut that, edit that. It's talented, and obviously, when you're producing, that's a tough job.
Yep.
But I like to be, give me a board and let me get my hands on it and let me do it.
So do you don't work your own lights then? I'm guessing you kind of do the pre.
I do
shows.
I do everything. Yeah, I don't have
just
time.
let it.
Yeah. Hook
I
up
was going to say
sound go.
See, that's the other thing. Some of these guys, they do their computers. They do so much computers because they're actually working their own light show.
It's crazy,
and they're producing that themselves live in time.
Right.
Like, there's so many elements to being a DJ that nobody understands.
Right.
Everybody's 90% of the people in the Midwest are going to see a guy like me who goes up, who presses play for 3 hours and just kind of keeps the songs moving. Their idea of my talent is not musical. It's reading a crowd,
right,
keeping the party going, matching what they want. Then there's the guys who are doing what I do, but they're creating their own light show. And that's a talent in and of itself. Then there's the guys that do what you do,
right,
where you spend hours on end leading up to that event, creating mixes so that you can go in and say, okay, now I'm going to work my mixes. I'm going to do everything right here. So,
and
it's true, yeah.
And just as a question, so I know we've been talking about different programs. We've been talking about different boards and mixers and stuff. And I know we don't have one here, and because of our editing capabilities, we're not really going to have any pictures right here for you folks. Sorry about that. But if you could just describe, like, you're sitting down at an invisible DJ booth or what you normally set up with, like, where's stuff set up in front of you?
So in front of me would be a big board, and there would be like 2 jog wheels. So basically like 2 turntables. And then in your middle is like your mixer, your highs, your lows, everything like that. And you have your crossfader down here. So then you have everything's in your board. And then you obviously have your outputs to your speakers and so on and so forth. But so when I'm sitting here, I have 1, 2 turntables and my crossfader. So I'll go back and forth or whatever, mixing it. They've added so many things to these boards now where you can, all these effects you can put on. So you can actually do like an echo fade out. And it's really cool because it makes the DJ, if they know what they're doing, it makes them better. Where when I was doing it back in, late 80s, early 90s when I first started, they didn't have that kind of stuff on turntables. It was you put the needle on the record and you hit play and that was it. Mm-hmm. And you mixed and you went back and forth. When you had 3 turntables or 4 turntables, it was then you could do a lot more.
It's gonna work.
Yeah, maybe it does.
If it doesn't, then it probably doesn't.
That's
that's great. But
that's the most basic approximation there of what it looks
right,
like.
Yeah, that's a perfect thing. I mean, obviously,
you got the
right.
And so those types of
your sound effects and things like that, and the great things about these Pioneer boards is like you can do like these stems now, so where you have a song playing and you hit the stem and it takes the acapella out, or it just gives you the acapella.
Oh, that's it.
So for a DJ who likes to mix things with other songs, that is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. That makes my job easier instead of having to put it into a program and take the music out.
Well, and you go back farther. And this is kind of when you started. Like now my setup, all of my lights, all of my stuff fits in a tote.
Yeah.
And then I carry in my stands and my speakers.
Sure.
And then I have my table and all that. So like I get everything in 2, maybe 3 trips, depending on the distance. When you started, it was like, okay, I've got my table and I've got my speakers and I've got my lights, and now I've got 85 boxes of records that I have to carry.
Milk crates galore.
Yep.
I would come in, like, if I DJ'd at a club, I would have to literally carry in probably about 6-7 crates of records just for the night. And then the equipment was there, which was great. Right. But if I DJ'd a party, I had this coffin. I called it was a coffin. Yep. And it was probably about the size of your table there, Anthony, and it would have 2 turntables and a mixer inside it, but you didn't have wheels on it. So you couldn't carry it by yourself. So you needed someone else to take one end, you carry it.
Yeah.
You bring your speakers in, and this is before powered. So you had amps. So now you're bringing amps in, and you're bringing like all these lights and strobes and smoke machines, and then you got to bring fog with you, extra smoke. I mean, it was like I would start setting up like 3 hours before the event, easily, if not more. And then because if something you do a sound check, then you're like, oh, that didn't work. I got to fix this. Or it was a pain in the butt.
And meanwhile, my sound. By the time I'm done with my sound check, I'm done in an hour.
See, that's great. And now,
that's assuming I don't have anything anything that goes wrong. I had a major panic this last summer. I DJ'd a wedding out at Fort Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
So outside, it's an outdoor event. I get there and I carry a good number of extension cords. Like I usually carry about 200 feet of cord.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I never know where the nearest outlet's going to be. You
just
don't know.
Yeah.
I get there and I see the outlet and I see where I'm pretty sure I'm going to set up. And I'm like, okay, I've got enough cord for that. I get out and they're like, no, you're on the other end of the tent. And I go, what? And she goes, yeah. And I go, cool. So where's my power coming from then? And she goes, oh, it's these right here. It's the ones that I originally saw. So I had to go. If anybody ever needs to borrow roughly 1,000 feet of extension cord, I know who has it. Yep. It's me. I have I was so upset, and I'm like I just ran in, and I'm like I didn't take the time to measure because I had to get all the way into Mandan and all the way back out, and then not have time. So I'm like I just got to get power. So I grabbed like 4 200-foot or 300-foot or whatever it was cords and brought them out there, and I ended up only using 2 of them, so I've still got 2 unopened ones. Lost the receipt because naturally,
of course.
So I have that, and then I get everything set up, and I start my sound check, and I'm like, great, okay, hold on, I'm only getting power out of one speaker, I'm only getting sound on one side. What the hell? I am doing everything. I at one point I got so panicked that I just flipped the speakers because I was perpendicular to the party. So I was like, worst case scenario, this speaker is playing towards the party, and while they're all eating and stuff, I'll keep working on this. I'll figure this out. I'm panicking. I'm trying new chords. I think I called you at one point.
You might have,
and you didn't answer, so I'm like, shoot. I finally called like tech support on a company. I sent in a message. I'm like, help, I'm doing a wedding in like 45 minutes. I need power, all this stuff. Pay like $50 for a membership to this tech support thing. And finally I look and my freaking master dial had gotten turned all the way down. I had let someone use my equipment and they turned my master all the way down on that. I never checked it. Panicked for 45 minutes, $50, all this other stuff, and it was the dumbest thing.
It usually is.
I felt so stupid.
Than usual?
So yeah, I felt so stupid than usual.
Okay, I should have made that joke a little more clear.
Yeah. And then honestly, it was a great night. From there,
but I think we've all been there.
Oh,
we've all had that happen to. I'm sure Anthony, you have too. You sit there and you're like, "Why is this working? Why is this working?" You're like going around, and it's like, "Oh, I forgot to plug that in."
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's like that old bit from the IT Crowd, the British sitcom. If you ever saw it,
I've never seen it. No, but
every episode they get a call from upstairs, and he answers the phone at the same time. IT, have you tried turning it off and on again?
Of course, yeah.
Because it works every time.
Yeah.
And then one episode, have you tried turning it off and on again? You have. Was it plugged in? Yeah, plug it in and it'll work.
Oh, gosh.
I start bringing 2 laptops now.
Yeah.
Because I've had the problem where one of them just crashed on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, all my music's on there. I mean, I got my backup hard drive, but I bring 2 laptops with me now because it's just in case. Yeah. I would rather bring 2 laptops than 20 milk crates of records. So I'm okay with that. I'll bring 3 laptops if I have. That's fine.
Fair.
Now we're almost out of time. So
What?
I know, right?
Wow,
this has gone by fast.
by.
Yeah. So obviously, Paulie, we're going to have to try and lure you back here under some other circumstances.
You know what? You don't have to lure me. I would love to come back.
All right.
How about that?
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. Now, Dan, I'll let you. You got any last question for Paulie there?
Do you publish your mixes anywhere? Are you on SoundCloud? Anything like that?
I was on SoundCloud. I haven't put anything new, but I'm in the process right now of kind of rebranding.
Okay.
And so when I do rebrand, I will be on SoundCloud. So I'll have to get it.
So when you get that, let us know, and we'll get your info up because.
Oh yeah.
I
want to listen. I want to hear this 4-song mix that you.
I will. I can send that to you.
That sounds like what I want to hear.
Yeah, I can do that.
We'll definitely have you back for more than just a DJ or a bodyguard conversation because. So while I might be half Italian, Paulie.
I'm Italian.
He's full Italian, so we've got some ideas for some Italian food episodes.
Oh, that sounds great.
And I know I can lure him back with one simple Italian treat, the rainbow cookie.
Do you know I ordered some from Ferrara's Bakery in New York?
You did?
I did.
Oh,
I had to.
That's fantastic.
It'll be here Tuesday.
Oh, even better, even better. So I know you're currently rebranding right now.
Yes.
But if people want to reach out, find you, if they're looking, now I'm going to warn you folks, if you're looking like 6 months, 8 months out, abandon all hope. If you're looking a year or two out.
Yeah, I'm already booking weddings for 2026 already. And I got lucky. I won Best DJ for Best of the Best this year. So that was pretty awesome. I'm psyched about that. A lot of great DJs that are doing a great job out there, with parties and stuff. And I think it's a popularity thing. I think I just had a lot of people vote for me, but whatever.
Guilty.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. I appreciate
what?
you.
You weren't even in the running.
I never am. I don't want to be.
Well, you should be.
We'll see.
So I've been getting a lot of bookings, which is great. Unfortunately, I can't do them every weekend. Obviously, I run a restaurant, and weekends are my busiest time. So I try to do about 5-6 a year. I wish I could do more, but I'm always looking for someone to pick up extra gigs. So maybe we might have to have a conversation. I think do some stuff for me.
Absolutely.
You have a conversation about networking, and it turns into networking itself.
There you go. That's what it's about.
It is all about that grind.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, I'm on Snapchat. So it's at DJ Paulie L. If anyone's interested.
We'll flash that up on the screen.
But yeah, Instagram and Snap is at DJ Paulie L. And that's probably the best way to get in contact with me. I go on Facebook, but it's not my main thing, but they could go also just Paulie Lorenzano on Facebook and hit me up as well. So, and I might be sending those parties to you because it might be booked.
So, all right, there we go.
But yeah, thanks, guys.
Paulie, thanks for joining us here in Randomville, North Dakota.
Yeah.
This was a blast. Dan, I know you had fun today.
I always have fun here.
So, folks, we hope you enjoyed your time here in Randomville, North Dakota with us. We hope to see you again soon. Be sure to check us out online, www.randomvilleND.com. If you want to reach out to us, it's randomvillend@gmail.com. Be sure to check out the merch store online as well. We still have not put his face on anything, but
never will.
Buy his mug, buy his shirt.
We don't really have anything for Gracie.
We don't really have anything for Gracie. Hugh Burns did draw Jerky the Cow's shirt, so buy Hugh's shirt.
Buy Hugh's Jerky shirt. Well, Hugh has his own shirt, and then he has Jerky shirt.
Yeah. Well, just check out the merch online.
Contributions to the merch store.
He has. So thanks you, folks. I don't know what just happened. Thank you, folks, for joining us here in Randomville, North Dakota. We hope to see you again soon.
Take care.
Bye.
It doesn't get any better than that.